Right there. Don't drink it. Don't drink it all. Bring your glasses down from your mouth.
Wait a minute, let me review.
Yeah, I like this part. Just touch your glasses together and look right at me. Get closer. Yeah. Get a little closer. I want you to smile. Good. All right.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to a video that is quite different than anything I've ever done. I am in Roanoke, Virginia, as you saw in the intro, and this is actually where I grew up, where I was born. And not only did I grow up here, I literally grew up here. Behind me is my house, or my grandma's house, because my family didn't have a ton of money, so we lived with my grandparents for many years on this huge section of land. And actually all the trees you see behind us was also our family's land. It has changed a lot since now, but like this field, for example, it used to be mowed because my dad, I would have to mow it all the time. This little creek right here, and all of this used to be just like perfect grass. And I remember my dad would always come out and yell at me because we had a riding lawnmower, and I'd put on like speed 6 and go super fast, and he would come out and be like, speed 3 or 4 tops, Max, you're not cutting the grass. And he would always yell at me. But this is where I grew up, and then at some point, I can't remember exactly when, we bought a house, but we put the house at the end of the grass field in my grandma's, and it was a double wide home. It came delivered on a giant truck bed, came in 2 pieces. And what's even crazier is I flew the drone, and there's this giant tree, and that's actually our Christmas tree. We used to plant the Christmas trees, and that one is still here. I don't know, I kind of been having this feeling that I needed to come back. And there's a lot of bugs. I needed to come back here. I don't know really why. I wanted to visit my dad's grave, and it's been so long since I've been here. Like, I've come to Roanoke many times since my dad passed, but actually to where I grew up, 15 years, 16 years. And I want to give you a little bit more insight about where I came from. So let's continue this memory lane in Roanoke, Virginia. So as you can see, where I specifically grew up is very much in the mountains, or the boonies as you'd call it. And one time I remember this pull off right here where those railroad tracks are. My dad pulled off on the side of the road because a school bus was coming. And now my dad is a very nice guy, but you don't want to piss him off, because as he drove by, a kid out of the school bus spit out of the window. My dad's window was down, and it hit my dad in the arm. And I think myself and my brother were in the car. And my dad, and this wouldn't fly nowadays, but he literally he pulled up behind the bus, pulled next to the bus while the bus is driving, and was like, pull over! And the bus pulled over, and he literally got on the bus. This is a real story. He got on the bus and was like, this one! And he, the kid got in trouble, but imagine, my dad's like this bigger set, kind of like bald guy with scruff, just like coming on the bus after you spit on the car, him coming up and be like, you! So yeah, don't spit on people's dads. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is where your favorite potato went to elementary school, Clearbrook Elementary. I was only here for a short period of time until the 4th grade. I feel like raising me as a kid for my dad and my stepmom, and then for my mom when I moved when I was about 10, was probably very difficult and annoying. Like, if I had to raise me, like if I had a kid and it was me as a kid, I'd be like, ugh, why? Because I was always just getting into trouble. It's because I always just wanted attention. Like, I was just back talking teachers, just talking 24/7, who would have thought, right? And I was always getting into trouble. I wasn't like doing drugs or like beating people up. I've never actually gotten in a fight. I know it's probably crazy to believe, probably thought that I've whooped a bunch of kids' asses. But yeah, I guess, I don't know, I just wanted like attention. And actually, when I finished the 4th grade, my dad transferred me schools to another one down the street, and I repeated the 4th grade because he said that it wasn't like I was not smart enough to go to the 5th grade. He said that I wasn't mature enough, and he thought that like a different environment around different people would make me do better. I don't know. So yeah, I got held back in the 4th grade, but I turned out great. And what's actually really cool about this is in this school, I had a friend named Greg Boitnott. I don't know what he's doing now. He was this redheaded guy. But anyway, he was the one. I went to his house one time and he put on this CD. He's like, you gotta listen to this guy. I was like, what's his name? And he's like, his name's Slim Shady. And I was like, all right, put it on. And then it was like, chicka, 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 hi, my name is what? My name is, and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna listen to this guy for the next 20 years. So, if you ever come back to your hometown, sometimes it's kind of wild. This is the mall that we used to come here like 5 times a week because we would eat at a restaurant right there called K&W Cafeteria, because it was a pretty cheap way for a big family to eat, and you'd literally go through the line with a cafeteria tray and you'd pick out what you want, and then after we were done eating, I was gonna have it for lunch. Then we would walk around the mall. This was like popping back in the day. Now just everything is shut down. I would always go into the game store. I don't know which one it was called back then, but I was a big video game guy, and I've told the story before, but for one of my birthdays, I really wanted a Dreamcast, which is a Sega console system, and it's all I wanted, and it was very expensive, maybe like $200-300, and you know, my dad didn't have that to spare. And I remember for my birthday, like, I woke up and he got me the Dreamcast, and it was like the best day ever. But I remember what like a little ungrateful shit I was, because he didn't give me the game that I wanted. He gave me some other game. I wanted Sonic Adventures, and you know, it's like you remember how ungrateful you were when your parents were doing everything that they could to try to give you the best life. And it's just a lot of memories. Crazy what's here and what's not here. Wild. So, I mentioned how a lot of stuff has changed here, but this is one thing that I did not know had changed. This is one of the most important things I wanted to show you, is this building right here. Because my dad was an entrepreneur later in his life. He worked a lot of different jobs, but right here, we actually opened a coffee house, or he opened a coffee house. He renovated this building. I remember us tearing up the tiles. I remember being in the offices up there every day after school. I mean, we lived here, like, essentially. My dad spent every waking second in that building. It was called the Daily Grind. I don't know if I already said that, but now it's the Rockfish. But let's go get some food in this place. So apparently it's not open right now, but this is where it was. It used to be much different looking, and like me and my brother even worked in there. We would serve ice cream. My dad had a sandwich named after all the kids. Mine was the Maximo, and it was a meatball sub, and then you had to take it off the menu because it didn't sell very well. But the Maximo, that's what he used to call me. Pretty crazy. So this is the Wasena skate park, and some wild memories come back from here because my dad would take me here whenever I wanted, and he would let me stay for as long as I could skateboard. I even remember those ramps right over there, him helping me for the first time drop in on them. And I remember every time I'd be like, Dad, how much longer do I have to skateboard? And his answer was always, as long as you want. And by the way, in the beginning montage, when I picked up this Winter Fresh, that's because the gas station that I went to was the one on the way out of the street from our house. And my dad would always stop there and get whatever. And his favorite gum, Winter Fresh, would always buy packs. This might be the most personal that I've ever gotten on my YouTube, because I want you guys to meet my dad. His name was Charles Douglas Chewning, and he went by Chuck. He was in the military for a very long time. A lot of my memory of him as a kid was him in the military because he was gone so much, and then he was in Kentucky a lot, I believe. And I remember when he came home, we'd meet him at the airport, and it was just, I loved my dad so much, and I miss him beyond words. And like I said, I don't know if I've told you guys, or I mean, I've definitely told you guys, but I don't know if I have told everyone who follows me, but my dad passed away in 2005 when I was about 15 years old to ALS, which is a disease that breaks you down as a person, and you lose your ability to walk and talk, and you're still in there, but you just can't do anything. And I've said this a lot, that I didn't really comprehend that I was losing my dad when I lost my dad. And it makes me wish that I had just spent more time with him, done more with him. And it's just one of those, you never know when an illness or something like that is going to take over, and you lose someone that you love and care about, that you take for granted every single day, that you see or have the ability to talk to. And that is why it's just so important to keep a strong relationship with everyone in your family, or everyone that you care about. While I was on this trip, I stopped by my uncle's house, my dad's brother, and I haven't talked to my uncle since my dad's funeral. Over 15 years. And it's like, why? I think I held like an animosity because he never reached out after the funeral, and I just held this tension up. And I feel like a lot in my life, it's what kind of drew me here this trip, is because I feel like I have a lot of things that are just kind of built up inside of me that I don't know how to express, and I just keep them bottled up. I think that has a lot to do with my relationships with certain people or family members, and it's something that I really want to let go, because you just never know when you're going to lose someone. And I like to celebrate my dad's life, not mourn his death, because he was the best guy ever. He lit up the room. Everyone that interacted with him was smiling and laughing, and I hope that I can be half the man that he was. And I think the biggest thing that sucks, I mean, there's a lot of things that sucks, but I wish he could see how much I've done and how proud I'm trying to make him. And I miss you, Dad. Well, that's all for this. I don't know if this is weird or not, but I think I share so much with my life with you guys, so why not share the most important thing in my life? Say hi to YouTube, Dad. I love you. So I know that last clip was, you know, not super uplifting, and that's the complete opposite of what my dad would want. It's sad when I think about him not being here anymore, but he wouldn't want me to be sad. So I think we should end this trip at a Mexican restaurant. Margarita for you, Dad. All right. It's for you, Dad. Pretty sure that was pure tequila on top. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, so we are going to crash because I got up at like 4 a.m. to catch my flight, and my flight back tomorrow morning. I have to get up at like 4 or 4:30 again. But like I said, I had, I don't want to call it like a calling or so. Just something over the past couple weeks has been like, go visit Dad. Go visit Dad. And I finally did it, and it meant a lot to me. I want to come back here more often. I surprisingly, this video, in between the video, I actually got to go see my stepmom, my aunt. So it's actually been like a crazy trip that I got to see my entire family that I haven't seen in years and years and years. And I don't know, sometimes you just need something like this to kind of get you back on track, because I've been very all over the place recently and I haven't really understood why. And just letting my mind kind of breathe and coming out here and just disconnecting from everything, and just felt good. So thank you guys for watching this video. I know it was extremely different. Surprisingly, I think there'll still be people that'll thumbs down this video for whatever reason, but they can just go choke on a Ja Rule bobblehead. It's an Eminem reference. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and we'll get back to Wacky Max. Ever forward. I don't know if I enunciated that well. Let me try again. Ever forward. No, that was kind of weird. Pausing in between. Let me try again. Ever forward. There you go. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Who come to you seeking your blessing and assist them with your grace.
He's going to keep going.
We won't stop.
He's already falling. Yeah, nice.
Don't be so nice. Don't be so nice. Deborah.
Rusty, okay.